Welcome to the My Julie podcast. I'm your host, Minnie Latif, and the rumours are true. It does take a village. Let's do it. Hi guys, on today's episode we have Alex Fevola, a fellow 48-year-old, a mother of 4, and she has also been running her business Runway Room for many, many years. And we get to talk about what it takes to be an entrepreneur, get through the day with multiple children around, what her health and wellness routine looks like. We're in the heart of perimenopause, what she does to be able to put herself first, which ultimately benefits the rest of our households and our careers. It's a really good, inspiring story of how to stay on top of everything despite so much stuff happening in our lives. I think you'll really enjoy this one. Alex Fevola, welcome to the My Julie podcast. I always start the same way with everyone, and that is the question, how long have you lived?
I am 48 years old. So
Samesies!
yeah,
Yeah.
48 years, and
Yeah.
yeah, I feel very lucky to be where I am today, and I've had quite an eventful time in my 48 years.
Yeah, I bet. I actually had to stop myself from doing too much of a deep dive. I really wanted to walk in with more of a Alex today,
Mhm,
because a lot of the stuff that I know of you is really old stuff,
mhm.
right? And I know that life is not the same as when you were 28, 38, let alone 48, right?
Mhm.
Basically, I've been using your makeup brand for quite a while now,
Oh,
and
great.
yay. So my favorite product is the Runway Primer. So I actually am using it today,
Glowing, of
everybody.
course.
Glowing. And I work in beauty, and I've manufactured beauty products as well, some makeup products. And I know how bloody hard it is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not an easy business. I have had a lot of things go wrong, more things go wrong than go right. But how many years in are you with Runway?
So I'm 13 years in from when I first started. So I opened my first salon in 2012. And
Yeah,
then I started developing products in 2014. Um,
yeah,
so I started the business, which was a service-based business. We were one of
yeah.
Australia's very first hair and makeup bars that offered the full, glam squad for event-ready hair and makeup. And then I started developing products, a couple of years in, and I didn't really officially launch the actual cosmetic line until 2019. And that was
Mm,
because I kind of did a bit of a test market for a while where I was really only selling through my own stores and a few little salons and things.
hmm.
And I ended up doing a complete rebrand. So I sort of had identified a few issues with the way I had packaged the product, basically the look of the packaging. It was really
Sure.
um, very much sort of customed to our own salons, which at the time were fluoro orange and white. And I kind of felt like when I went to other salons and they were sort of dark and moody, it just was polarizing.
Mm,
So I decided to rebrand the whole range, which essentially was starting all over again. And it was
for sure.
very expensive and time consuming, but it was definitely the right decision. So we officially
Yeah.
launched in 2019. And so here we are, I guess, nearly 6 years on. Um,
Hmm.
and we've had a lot of really great growth in that period. So I do feel it was the right decision for us.
Well, essentially, that's the heart of COVID,
Yes, yes,
right?
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. We sort of launched and then we went straight into COVID. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it did obviously change the direction of things. It made us adapt very quickly to being a much more of an online presence and talking direct to my
Mm.
customers, which I hadn't really done before then. And I didn't
Mm.
realize how impactful that would be.
I mean, honestly, I could talk makeup and components and formulas all day, but the real reality is that I feel I connect with you more on the external stuff of that is how do we do this stuff with kids, family, juggling all of that. And there's a real dialogue that happens a lot with women, which is, oh, I feel I have a lot of mum guilt for this, or I have a lot of mum guilt for that. And I really dislike that conversation.
Mhm.
I really like to talk to women and say, you shouldn't be feeling guilty for having such great purpose. Ultimately, your family is always going to benefit from the efforts that you put into yourself, whether that's career wise or self care, all of the things, the time and energy that you pour into yourself, everyone else benefits from. Do you feel like you have that narrative in your mind in reference to mum guilt?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because we are made to feel that way as women, but
Mm-hmm.
fathers are not. And so that's been something that I always think, why am I feeling guilty? Because my husband's been able to pursue his career dreams, and
Mm-hmm.
it's an automatic. Automatically, as women, we just step in. Like, whereas when
Yeah.
if I have a work trip, or I've got a commitment, I always have to stop and think, like, what, who is Brendan going to be around? Like, whereas it's
Mm-hmm.
just, I think it's easier for men to chase their dreams and pursue their goals still in 2025. We still have
It
that
is.
sort of responsibility does tend to sit more with us as women,
Mm-hmm.
and not in every family, but in the majority. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so I've really battled with the whole guilt thing, more so when my kids were little. I really did
Yeah.
have to reconcile that in my mind, because when I started Runway Room, I was working 6 days a week on the floor, 8 to 10 hour days, and sometimes 7 days a week, because I used to do kids' parties as well. And I was really trying to get the business going. I had all different
Yeah.
avenues of ways to make money. And I used
And how old were the girls at that time?
so my youngest at the time was Lulu, who was 2.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
then there was Lenny, who was 5, and Mia was, what was she? She was 10, I think. It was,
Oh,
yeah,
you're in
10
the
and 10.
trenches.
So they were all little, and they all were at different
Yeah.
stages, and they need you for different reasons. But I was really lucky because I lived very close to my first salon that I opened. I was
Mhm.
literally 2
Mhm.
minutes down the road, so I could run home in under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I used to pop home all the time and check in, and they'd call in, like, Brenda would walk the
Hmm.
kids down, and they'd see me. So I felt like there was a sense of guilt, because I did feel like I missed, for a few years, I did miss a lot. But at the same time, I
Mhm.
think being a mother of 4 daughters, you also want to lead by example and prove to them that it's okay to be a mum and also have a career. I think that
Mhm.
as parents, as long as you work as a team,
Mm.
and you support each other, then there's absolutely no reason to feel guilty about it. And I know now my girls are grown up. I've got another little one now, a 6-year old, but my
Yeah.
3 other girls are grown up, and they love the business, and they're proud of me, and they're all involved, and they absolutely love um, the industry that we're in. And so, I'm
Mhm.
glad I did it, but there was
Yeah.
definitely moments of questioning, am I doing the right thing, and feeling,
Yeah.
yeah, feeling guilty leaving them. But
Yeah.
um, I was lucky at the time that Brendan was home during the week, so he was really only he was playing
Ah.
football on weekends, and that was it.
Yeah.
He was around, so he was a full time parent, and that's why I
Yeah.
just kept telling myself, well, they're with their dad, they're not, home
Yeah. Yeah. Of
childcare.
course.
So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then to have that support from your husband and then be able to work, that's partnership,
that's
right?
right.
Like it's absolute partnership. Was in the earlier days of the business, was he supportive of the idea of what you were doing?
Yeah,
Or just
absolutely.
more of, yeah, go off and just,
I think he's been really supportive of Runway Room from the get go. But I think, I've always like had huge dreams for Runway Room. So from the very beginning,
Mm.
I was picturing big, and I think people,
Yeah.
not just Brendan, but everybody probably thought, okay, well, it's, don't get ahead of
Calm it down, Alex. Yeah, yeah.
um, so I think, he's got more and more excited and invested as the years have gone on. But he was, from the get go, he's like, yeah, go do it. Like, he was very aware that
Mm-hmm.
he'd had his football career, and I was at home and had done all that time for him, and he could pursue his success. And so then it was my turn. And um,
Yeah.
I think it would been about 10 years that he'd been playing professional football at that point. So at
Mm.
that that time his career had ended, or professional football career had ended. So it was the
Hmm.
perfect time for me to say, well, it's my turn now. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it is such a beautiful role model moment for your daughters, particularly for girls. But it's not just that it's okay to have a career, but it is normal.
it's
You know,
normal.
it's yeah, like
Absolutely.
mum's got to work not just to pay bills, but we need purpose too. And like you've got the beauty of looking back in hindsight and saying, had I not made those, the long hours, the 6 days a week and whatnot, you wouldn't have the environment that you have now, which is essentially a family business, right? Like having your
Exactly.
daughters involved and stuff like that. So there is nothing to be guilty about. You built this for your family to thrive in collectively, and you get to work with your kids.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's a dream for me. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be for my kids. She's only 9 right now,
Mhm.
and I force her to come into the clinic and whatnot. But the idea that maybe, I mean, she doesn't have to, but maybe if she, this continues to, I've got big dreams too, Alex, and
Yeah,
and I don't think anyone can truly see it. No one ever has the vision like the
that's
founder,
so
right?
true. Yep.
Yeah, but to know that my daughter doesn't necessarily have to be part of the working of it, but to be benefiting from it.
Mm.
Okay, so you mentioned you've got a 6-year-old. So you had a bit of an age gap between the two generations of girls, I suppose.
Yeah.
You were 42 when
I
you
was
had her?
41, so she's about to
41,
turn
yeah.
7.
Ah,
Yeah, I was 41 when I had her, and she was a very big surprise. Um,
no way. I
yeah.
thought it was a planned
No,
baby.
no, no, she wasn't planned. She was,
That was the universe.
yeah, I mean, when I say she wasn't planned, you know, I just didn't think that I would fall pregnant at that age. I was just shocked
Hmm.
that, I don't know, I just didn't think that.
Were you discussing we should try for another
No,
one?
no, we weren't really. We
Oh.
just sort of were. Brendan had always wanted to have another one, and I sort of
Hmm.
felt like earlier on I was like, no, I've got 3 kids already, and it was a
Yeah.
lot with the business and what have you. And then I started thinking, oh, I would be open to having another one, but just didn't
Mm.
think that we would. But then surprise.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was a wonderful surprise, and she has just brought so much happiness to the family, and not just Brendan and I, but the girls as well, like because they've been that bit older. It's just such a different experience having a baby when you've got older kids.
I was going to ask, like, surely they're quite involved in raising her, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've shown her a lot of love and a lot of attention, more so than what they showed each other, because, she's so
Hmm.
little, and she's just been the light of our lives. Like, she really has brought so much joy, and she was such a good baby. So I was so lucky she wasn't a high maintenance baby. She was super cruisy, and, having 3 big sisters made it a lot easier to,
Yeah.
for me, if I had to go somewhere, there's always someone home with Brendan
Oh my
to,
God, built-in babysitters. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Built-in babysitters. What a dream. Um, I read somewhere recently that this family, very similar to yourselves, they had their baby many years in between. So, and the thing that they defined it was it just brought such youth into the household.
Yeah.
So the mum and dad really have never felt this aging because your kid is like it's a baby, right? And then they're in the toddler zone and she's only 6, nearly turning 7.
Mhm.
So you're fresh into primary school, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, she's grade 1.
Right. Grade 1. And so your other kids have all finished school or
So Mia and Lenny, obviously Mia's 25, so she's doing her
yeah.
second university degree, and Lenny has finished year 12 and is having a gap year, but she'll be doing uni next
Mhm.
year, and Lulu
Mhm.
is in year 10. So,
Year 10.
they're
Okay.
all, yeah, 2 have finished and one's heading towards finish.
On the other side. Yeah, they're on the other side. And now you're surrounded by the primary school world
Yeah,
again, right?
yes,
And
I
that,
am.
it's just a different chapter to the high school world and to university world and even the gap world. Do you find that she has kept a certain youthfulness to you
Yeah,
as
definitely.
a woman?
There's, I think, that responsibility I feel being that bit older, to try to keep myself fit and healthy, because I feel so
Hmm.
conscious that I want to be how I've been with the older girls for Toby. I don't want to be old and not able to do the things I've done with these girls. So I think that is on my mind all the
Mm,
time,
mhm.
just to look after myself a bit better and stay fit and strong. And yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want her to feel like we can't be the same parents that we were for the girls.
For sure. Do you ever think about longevity as well, though? Like, I think about it all the time. When I'm 100, my daughter will be 60.
Yes.
And so, I mean, how many people live to 100 and live well to
Yeah.
100? It's not a lot,
And that's
right?
right. I
And
know. And so,
and so I'm
yeah,
like,
it's about
oh,
trying to be around for them as long as possible, making sure
yeah.
that you're not a liability. You know, you want to be around for them to be, physically able and not, become a liability. So,
Yeah, you don't want to be a burden. You want to enjoy life with
yeah,
them.
exactly. And, I
Mm,
think in this day and age, we're very lucky that there's so much more, I think, particularly for women around longevity and living well and,
mhm.
health and fitness and well-being. So that is something I think I've definitely the last few years really focused on and
Yeah.
trying to, I think, again, making that time for yourself and not feeling guilty about it. So making sure I get to Pilates. Back in the day, I'd
Mhm.
be like, "Oh, I haven't got time," and everything else would come first. Whereas now I'm like, "No, that comes first, and I'll fit all the other stuff in." And so, yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably been one of the biggest shifts I've had in my decision making. Is I think health and wellness is priority at this stage of life for my
Yeah.
kids, not just for me, but for my kids. So
Yeah, it's so much not about the outer as much anymore.
no,
It's
it's
so much more about the
how you
inner,
feel,
right?
yeah, how you feel and feeling strong and well. And yeah, I think that's really such a priority as we age. So,
I really want to ask I'm going to shift gears now. And again, tell me if you're uncomfortable to talk about this, and we don't have to. But you, at some period of time, separated with Brendan and got back together. Was that, in reflection later, something that you can say to other women that are going through really hard times in their relationship? Just hold on, like just hold on? Or is it more of, yeah, do that because it's a good experience for you to come out on the other side? Like, what's the lessons?
I think I wouldn't say hold on because I think if the
Mm,
relationship is not in a good place, then I don't necessarily. I think it's just hard because it depends what the issues are, who the people are. Everybody has different circumstances, so it's hard. But I think the lesson for me was in order to be able to move forward with him, I really did need to separate. So for me, I needed
mhm,
to just completely cut everything off, separate. And we basically, came back together again as two new people. And we both needed that
mm.
time out to grow and, find ourselves, I guess. We were together quite young. We've always had a family. It's just been, you know, there was a lot, I think, to sort of um, a lot of benefit from going off, being on our own, and then coming back as two new people. Because I think if you stay with someone when there's resentment, that resentment will just build and it doesn't really ever go away. And resentment is, that's the real killer in relationships.
Oh, it's poison. It's absolutely
Yeah.
poison.
So that's, I think, for me, that was the reason why we're together now.
So you have a full household. You run this. But this business is done in a whole bunch of different ways. So you have your own stores. I know your Sorrento store,
Hmm.
and you do a lot of activations as well. Like you turn up at different events and whatnot. Like Spring Carnival is something that's going on.
Hmm.
This would probably be. I mean, I'm assuming one of the biggest seasons for Runway being going into spring.
Yes, well, we are now in Maya as well. So we launched into Maya last year, and having the Maya locations, we offer makeovers in store, and that's run by our own team, along with our stores, and then along with having two teams out, one in Flemington, and then the other team up in Sydney, because we're also the beauty partner for the ATC in Sydney. So yes, it probably is definitely our biggest season as far as we've got so many locations at once to manage.
Yeah.
It's been really busy. Yeah, really busy time um, and really exciting. It's been a great year. We've had a lot of growth in the last year with the Maya partnership, and prior to that, our pharmacy line. We launched into a partnership with Direct Chemist Outlet, which has been hugely
Wow.
successful as well. So yeah, it has been a tough year because it's been really challenging for so many different reasons, and basically just being a small self-funded business to have that kind of growth. It's a lot of pressure and a lot of juggling, and but it's also been one of our most successful years yet. So yeah, I'm really grateful for where we are today.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. I opened my first brow and nail bar in my High Point
Hmm.
back in 2009. So, yeah, my first 5 years in, because I was corporate before that, my first 5 years into that sort of industry was alongside with Maya. And there was no one better to actually sit alongside because it was still new for me. So to have their support, it was awesome. It was really, really eye opening.
Yeah,
What a journey.
I bet.
um, do you sleep well at night, Alex?
I do actually. I do find I sleep really well. I think again, focusing on that health and wellness has helped me.
Mm.
I'm up early. I'm in bed really
Mm-hmm.
early, which I never used to be. I used to be more of a night owl.
Mm.
But as I've got older, I've really found I'm so much more productive and motivated when I go to bed early and I get up early. And I've really learnt to savor those couple of hours in the morning before everyone else is up to sort of, have my own time and before the day really gets
Yeah.
started. So, yeah, I do sleep well. I do have a lot of worry at certain times where my mind's racing and I'm thinking of a million things, but I
Mm-hmm.
really prioritize sleep. So,
Yeah.
I find that
Wh-
it's so important for me.
What what helps your sleep hygiene? So to do it so well at age 48, it's not that common. Many of us are going through peri and then taking into consideration all the other things that stack onto our, shoulders.
Hmm.
What helps you have that good sleep
Well,
hygiene?
I think the going to bed early and getting up early is what helps me. Like if I'm in a pattern of going to sleep and I'm asleep before 10 p.m., I'm awaken up by 6 a.m. That seems to be, I don't know, I seem to just have a better sleep, a deeper sleep. I feel refreshed when I wake up. I bounce out of bed. If I go just an hour later and it's 11 and then 7, I feel like I just feel crap. I feel, yeah,
Yeah, world of difference. Yeah.
yeah, it's really bizarre. But they do
Hmm.
say, I think it's an hour before midnight is worth two. No, yes,
Yep.
it's worth two after. So I think it's
Yeah.
just better quality sleep. I also take magnesium every night, and I think
Hmm.
that's definitely helped me with relaxation and muscle recovery and stuff like that. So, yeah, magnesium is very helpful. And I think limiting alcohol. I think if I drink wine,
Hmm.
I find I don't sleep well at all. If I don't drink
Mm.
um, any alcohol, I sleep like a baby. So I think for me,
Mm.
I I worked out pretty early on that even just a couple of glasses of wine can affect my sleep and my sleep quality. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's my tips to healthy sleeping is no alcohol and early nights.
Nights. Yeah, absolutely. It's not that difficult to understand, but it is quite difficult to
Yeah,
implement.
it is.
Yeah. So yeah, but we know it's a top priority. So you mentioned you do Pilates. Is that your main form of movement?
It is, but I also do go to gym and do weights. I've only just started back. I used to do gym all the time in my 30s, but then I didn't, lost my way. Was basically got into Pilates a couple of years ago. I'd always done it on and off, but I'd never been
Mhm.
as consistent as what I am now. And I find Pilates is just the best for my body. I think as we age, the little niggles and aches and pains that we get, Pilates really combats. Like, if I don't go to Pilates for a week, it gets to about day
Mm.
5 or 6, and my hip starts to ache, and I've got a little niggle in my knee, and yeah, just my body feels not good. And then as soon as I do a
Yeah.
class, it's gone. The hip pain's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm a really big advocate for Pilates. I think particularly for women 40 and over, I think it's really, really good for our bodies. There's no impact. It strengthens and tightens. But obviously weightlifting, is increasingly important, particularly heading in towards the menopausal phase of our life.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to start lifting, to start building.
Yeah. We're hearing it so much and wearing the weight vest
Yeah.
and the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
like one thing at a time, one thing at a time. And nutrition, I like just by looking at you, you can tell that you take care of yourself. But is it something that is, are you really strict with what you eat, or like how does that look like for
It's
you?
funny because I go through phases. Sometimes, yes, I'm great, and other
Mm.
times I'm
Mhm.
terrible. So,
Anyway, it is what it is. Well, I better let you go back into that empire world, runway your way to through Spring Carnival into Christmas. It's been such a delight. Thank you so much for coming on to my Julie. Hopefully, can get you in the clinic one day.